Houston, Texas. A metropolitan center for the arts and industry. A city of cultured and varied backgrounds, Houston holds a dual distinction as both the energy capital of the world and host to one of the world's finest medical and research facilities. Through the center of the city runs US 59, an arterial freeway featuring a unique section dubbed the Gateway to Houston. This gateway is actually 4 bridges spanning Highway US 59 just at the entrance to the downtown area. Because the bridges are uniquely grouped close together, all 4 occur within a mile, they are easily recognizable and represent to many drivers that they have officially arrived in the city. In the early 1960s, when US 59 was first built, Houston consisted mainly of close-in urban areas such as West University that were surrounded by vast stretches of undeveloped countryside. Only one of these populated communities was actually bisected by the freeway, that being the one closest to the downtown area and therefore unavoidable. To keep the community cohesive and as undisturbed as possible by noise, the Houston Urban Project Office, as District 26 existed back then, depressed the 1-mile stretch of US 59 that ran through the city, converting a 4-block section of city streets into 4 bridges. Adhering to national safety standards at the time, the clearance would soon prove to be a problem as the Hazard Street Bridge, as appropriately named, suffered collisions from the trucks below. Coupling the dangerous nature of the low clearance, plus the sheer necessity of expanding the roadways to accommodate the booming population and corresponding traffic congestion, it became clear that a complete redesign of the area would be needed.
The design was to place an HOV lane down the middle of the freeway and also replace the roadway surface. Tied arch bridge design was considered so that we could have an unsupported span length from side of freeway to side of freeway without any supports out in the middle, which would have conflicted with the HOV lane. We couldn't raise the bridge because of the additional right-of-way expense, but we still needed to increase the clearance underneath the bridge over the 14.5 foot to at least the minimum of 16.5 foot. And so we came up with the steel tied arch bridge, which gave us a thinner cross section of bridge structure. TxDOT's Houston Bridge section designed the steel tied arch bridge, and they also developed a very unique construction sequence.
TxDOT is improving customer service in many ways. First of all, we're incorporating into our designs features that allow us to construct bridges over main lane traffic during a weekend closure. This minimizes the impact to the traveling public beneath. Additionally, it allows the contractor to perform his work free and clear without the hazards of the traveling public, and it's just a win-win situation for both the contractor and the public. Additionally, we're also entering into an arena of providing a sense of community and in implementing some aesthetic features into our structures that basically bring the community together instead of separating them through our project. And what this all does is it just creates a more positive relationship between TxDOT and the surrounding communities. Instead of an adversarial relationship, what we have is a community and a bonding relationship. First, new abutments are built. These are located just behind the existing abutments. The existing concrete pavement is removed to allow for new abutment construction. Drill shafts are installed, then the abutment concrete is poured. Next, the steel framework of the arches are erected using the existing bridge deck as a working platform. The arches are delivered in segments and held in position using temporary falsework to facilitate splicing operations. Horizontal braces are installed between the 2 arches. Cross bracing is then placed between the horizontal pieces. The final step of the steel erection is to install the hanger cables. Once the steel erection is complete, the existing bridge is ready for demolition. precast concrete slab panels are trucked to the site and are erected one at a time. Then they are secured in place. The slab panels now provide a continuous work surface, enabling the workers to pour the closure concrete between the slab panels. Next, the slab panels and steel tie beam are stressed using the embedded ducts. The pre-stressing of the arches provides added strength and continuity to the structure. A concrete overlay is poured on top of the precast slab panels. Then the tie beam is encased in concrete.
Construction began down on the freeway when we had 5 lanes when we first got out here in both directions. We took 1 lane from them during our first initial work, put them down into 4 lanes and put them to the outside of the freeway so that we could remove a raised median that was running through the center of the freeway. Once the median was taken out and put flush with the main lanes, we were able to switch traffic back away from the sides where we could work. Traffic is now partially driving on the median that we lowered, and work began on the drill shafts for the retaining wall. Once a bridge was closed, they were able to start taking off the sidewalls of the bridges to create a work platform. The erection beams came along and we set them into place, put the knee joints in location, 2 on one side of the bridge, 2 on the other, to allow us to put a cross brace to hold up the knee joint portion of the arches. Once the knee joints on one side were completed, we began on the other side, tied those off with a cross brace, and then set the center section of the arches.
Because the bridges were to be imploded, the entire freeway needed to be closed. There was no practical way to remove the bridges in sections over a long period of time. Therefore, a 2-day weekend closure was the only solution. During this closure time frame, the bridge was demolished, the debris removed, and the precast bridge panels bolted to the arch supports. A massive media campaign ensued to inform the traveling public of the closure of US 59. This information blitz, coupled with the efficient traffic control plan, made for a successful closure.
We then came up with a firm date as to when we would take a bridge down. Once that was all set, the explosives were put into place and we were ready for the demolition of the bridges.
During the weekend of April 7th through the 10th, the old Dunleavy Bridge was demolished beneath the new bridge as explosions rendered the bridge into a pile of dust. Also in April 2000, steel erection began on the Mandel Street Bridge. 2 months later in June, the Mandel Street Bridge was demolished, followed by the Woodhead Street Bridge in July and the Hazard Street Bridge in August.
These 4 bridges are strategically located just south of downtown and transport travelers to Houston's growing cosmopolitan sector. Each bridge is 228 feet across and carries 2 lanes of traffic and parallel sidewalks and bike lanes. The Houston Gateway was constructed as part of a $32.5 million reconstruction of US 59 Southwest Freeway from east of Shepherd to east of Mandel Street inside the Houston Museum District. In deciding to bring the 4 bridges up to standard, TxDOT also included aesthetic design elements to complement the artistic presence of the surrounding area. Within a short distance of each other, there are several major art galleries and museums: the Museum of Fine Arts Houston, the Museum of Contemporary Arts, and the Museum of Natural Science. Nearby are 4 major universities: Rice University, the University of Houston, Texas Southern University, and the University of St. Thomas. Flanked by the Museum District and the Medical Center, Herman Park, as the city's primary recreational center, housing both the Houston Zoo and Miller Outdoor Theater, is located midway between the 3 largest centers of employment in the Houston metropolitan area. Each day, hundreds of thousands of people converge on the Texas Medical Center, the nation's largest medical center and Houston's largest employer, which lies immediately to the south. To the north is downtown, the area's 2nd largest employer, and to the west lies the Galleria Greenway Plaza Uptown Houston area, a district known as the city's 3rd largest employer. The decision to place emphasis on the aesthetic design of the bridges was based on feedback provided by various neighborhood associations, as well as meetings conducted by the Southwest Alternative Project, or SWAP.
It's a very eclectic area, passionate about quality of life, passionate about the environment, passionate about aesthetic finery, and truly the most beautiful area of Houston.
Once TxDOT and the surrounding neighborhood agreed on some of the aesthetic features to be incorporated into the design of this section of freeway, we partnered with the architect and implemented some of these details in the construction. On the 4 corners of each bridge exist steel spheres 5 foot in diameter, painted red to match the colored concrete in the slab. Color for the entire project was by architect specification and resulted in a white and gray color scheme. The red pavement on the slab of the bridge provided an aesthetic feature, but it also provided a convenient safety zone for bicyclists to safely pass across the bridge. Custom iron fencing was detailed for use throughout this entire project. The sidewalks feature a red and gray checkerboard pattern of pavers. Lighting is an important part of all projects. High-tech fiber optic lighting was used to emphasize the shape of these structures. The luminaires are a custom design. Additionally, they're placed on pilaster foundations that serve as an aesthetic focal point throughout the entire project.
Everyone who comes to Houston travels between downtown and the Galleria. It's the city the world sees. When we have the Olympics here, that's going to be the main artery to all the venues. This is the gateway to Houston, and it's not just the cultural gateway, it's the economic gateway. It's an important thing.
The 4 bridges over the Southwest Freeway have become a symbol of Houston's redefinition. The gateway to Houston is not a result of just one person or element, but the cooperation of multi-talented, very diverse people working together with a vision and a common goal.
I think the bridges, the way they've turned out, really look good. Originally we were kind of a little skeptical. They were orange in the beginning, and a lot of people said they liked the orange portion of the bridge, but that was just a primer coat. And we told them that we were going to paint it, which is really a gray with a white. and the caps are gray, the white being the main portion. Overall, I think it really looks good now. I think this has really been a benefit for me to get the experience on putting this project in place.
This project elevated us into a new arena of respect in the sense that we were able to accomplish a fast-track design that implemented those fast-track construction techniques that was tailored specifically to the site. And we've had comments from people within the bridge design environment commenting that that was such a smart plan. And what it did is it put everybody on notice is that TxDOT is moving forward towards implementing fast bridge construction techniques to minimize disruption to the traveling public.
I really like the finished bridges. They're artistic, they're colorful, they were unique to build, and they're unique to look at, and they fit well with the community. To build these bridges was very challenging. I don't know if I'll ever have an opportunity to build another one like it, so I've really enjoyed doing what I did with these bridges. And every time I drive under them, I can look up and say, I built that.